right, we're back for another In Case You Missed It. It's been another crazy week since the last time we were able to join you, but we've got a lot of really interesting things that have happened over the last week. And we'll start first with a new announcement on our Government Experience Awards for 2020. So we just rolled these out yesterday, and taking top positions this year, the state of Mississippi, Carrabba's County, North Carolina, and also San Diego. So we saw some really interesting innovations across city, county, and state levels of government. Experience played such a critical role in how agencies responded to crisis this year. Joe, what stood out for you?
I mean, you saw, COVID-19 gave you all the signals that it could slow down IT, it could slow down innovation, and I think it's done the opposite, especially when it comes to government experience. We all know that we need government now more than ever. We're turning to our local government websites, our county health departments, our mayors, our governors, and their announcements. And I think that these award programs show that government responded to the pressure and didn't let the pandemic stop innovation.
We also saw a lot of new use cases of emerging technologies in the public sector, not just COVID-19 dashboards and, using data to make better decisions, but we saw the rise of chatbots as well. So Joe, tell us a little bit about some of the interesting survey takeaways that we had from chatbot utilization.
Yeah, chatbots have been a center pillar of the COVID-19 response for one aspect, and certainly citizen services. And you can see by the article here, we've seen growth in terms of the future outlook for chatbots at the county level, but it's not just the counties. Other research that we've done have seen it at the city level, and then research by the National Association of State Chief Information Officers also saw similar growth at the state level. Don't hold me to the exact percentage, but I want to say it was something like 75% of states had deployed a chatbot in response to COVID-19. We've got some research coming out on the topic of artificial intelligence adoption at the NASCIO annual conference in October that'll look closer at state level adoption. But what I can tell you is there's a lot of optimism around AI, and there's certainly a lot of adoption around chatbots across both the local government level and the state.
Yeah, and some of the interesting things with chatbots, it was out of necessity, right? Like a lot of these technologies were being tested beforehand as kind of a way for people to query like FAQs and, kind of things that they would normally search. And, these now became force amplifiers where they really took the place of calling a physical call center, dialing 311. We were seeing chatbots being used for contact tracing, pre-screening, a variety of other use cases. So the interesting thing with the government experience this year is we saw the evolution of a lot of these emerging technologies that were applied, that kind of did basic functions before, now used in more mission critical aspects that actually enabled employees to better do their jobs because they had this force amplifier that was on the edge, kind of pre-vetting, pre-screening, and pre-validating things. So, looking ahead to 2021, we anticipate more of these emerging technologies like artificial intelligence, chatbots, even some of the weak AI voice systems that are out there like Alexa, to become more prevalent within the government experience of tomorrow.
Yeah, and you look at it too from the budgets and what the impact is. We've been tracking over the last 4 or 5 months. We're headed into an era of tighter budgets. We've seen local governments in particular reduce staff, particularly on the onset of the pandemic. And to your point about being a force multiplier and an augmenter, AI, chatbots, robotic process automation can have a big role to play in enabling governments to still meet the demands of citizen service delivery.
Yeah, so much innovation that will happen here over the next 12 to 18 months. And it's just begun. Really, we're seeing agencies now deploying these things, initially. So we expect to see a lot more evolution, a lot more innovation to happen. This fiscal constrained environment has really bred a lot of testing and finding of new solutions that are out there. So such an amazing opportunity for agencies to find better ways of using technology. And also the vendor communities really come to bat here for state and local government agencies. And they've, piloted a variety of new approaches and new technologies. And normally we only see this at the edge of government. And we see this, with agencies that have the means from an employee kind of capital standpoint to do, but now it's being done out of necessity.
Absolutely. These two stories shed a little bit of light on some of the exciting and interesting things that are happening in government. Feel free to check out Government Technology to get the latest data on these two stories and the award program. Join us next week at the same time, 12 o'clock Pacific, for what's happening in GovTech and what we find interesting. So see you there.
See you next week.